Hello everyone, this is Lolly. I am back today. I am all packed up to go to the Doodlebug Let's Get Creative event this month in Salt Lake City. But in the meantime, I feel like I want to make something, so I thought I would play around with this stamp and paper set that came in the magazine that I did a flip through of, and that is Cardmaking and Papercraft, issue number 183, June. I also need to explain something, and I was talking when I showed this about the glossy papers here, but I do see that if you want the papers, you can go to cardmakingandpapercraft.com and click on card making and then card making papers. And for back issues, what I did, there's a little search bar in the top. What I did was I entered issue 183 papers, and that way you can find the papers for back issues, because this was June, and although this is in the US now, they have newer issues out available. So I want to play around with this bicycle and these papers that are already in here, which are not the magazine quality one. These are regular scrapbooking papers. I want to play with this, and I want to play with these. So I've chosen some Catherine Pooler inks. I have Blackjack, Something Borrowed, and Party Dress. I thought those would kind of go well with these papers here to make my bicycle. I'm going to set those up there. And I'm thinking I want to do a square card, so I cut this at 5-inch square. And I also want to get out, I want to get my stamp positioner, because I think I'm going to need this. Make sure I have this set the right way. Clear, yes, it's set for clear stamps. Put this down here. So let's get this out. Now this paper that I'm using is paper for doing Copic coloring, because I might be able to use some Copic markers. We'll see. But I also want to use this wheel because I want to see this tire. I want to make sure I'm going to have room at the bottom here for the tire. I don't want it to be too low. I think this will be just fine right here. So I'm going to add these. These are my magnets that came with it, but I put them in this tape so that I could pick them up more easily. Okay, now I think what I want to do is make the dress this color, this party dress color. If you're not familiar with Catherine Pooler inks, I'll give you a link down below. You barely touch the stamp with the inks. Now this is the first time I'm using this. It's never been seasoned, so it would tend to like pool up and be a little spotty, so I might need to do this twice. We'll see. Very first time using the stamp, sometimes they get a little spotty, like I said, so I might just try this twice. And I'm not pushing at all. You see, my knuckles aren't turning white. There. Okay. That gives a nice, vibrant color. These are very juicy pads. They're sponge. They're very soft. I'm going to take that off. I'll clean it up in a minute. Got that all messy. So what I'm going to do is clean this off, because I came at it with at an angle. And I'll just use my stamp cleaner, spray a rag, and use that to get off the excess here. I don't use baby wipes that often in my crafting. I try to avoid it as much as possible, just because of the waste of throwing that away. So I do use a lot of rags. Now those of you in the US who did not get a chance to get the Tim Holtz stamp positioner, you cannot get them in the US anymore. There was apparently a patent issue. Very vibrant. Oh, I shouldn't have stamped that one twice, because now that I did that, this one isn't as dark. I could go over it again with these tiny spokes. I'd be afraid to try and do that and line that up perfectly. So I think I will leave that as it is, and I will clean my stamps off. Okay. So I'm glad I got that exactly the way I wanted it. It's very cute, and I think it's going to look really good with the papers that I've chosen. Okay, now the other thing I think I want to do is on this paper, the rest that I have, I want my basket for this bicycle. I'm going to put the little puppy in the basket. I don't have a brown color of Catherine Pooler's, but I think what I'm going to do is stamp out a blue basket, and I'm going to then cut it out. And then I'm also going to cut out the puppy, stamp him out on the same thing and cut him out. So with the basket, I am going to just do this. I like putting these stamps like this so I can see the inking that I'm doing. And again, I'm just touching. I am not pushing on that stamp. However, I forgot the fact that, as I was saying, these are brand new stamps, so I might need to use the stamp positioner for this to get a second inking on there. I might. Let's just try this. That works. That's a lot better. And of course, I just got some on my finger there, so I'm just going to clean that up. Take that off, and now I'm going to stamp the puppy out, but I'm going to want to color the puppy in with some of the Copics. So I need to stamp him in black. I'm going to use the Lawn Fundamentals black. It's called Premium Ink Pad in Jet Black, and with that I can use Copics. And I'm thinking, while I have this here, I might stamp them a couple times on these scraps. And then what I can do is I can put this scrap of paper into my little folder that has all this, the magazine and all the stamps. And that way, he's already pre-stamped and ready for me to use him next time around. Okay, put him back. Alrighty. Now, I'm thinking, since I have the stamping set up, I should go ahead and do this. I want to do the sentiment that says, "Enjoy the ride." Okay. Now, what I'm wondering is, should I do that on here? I think I might do "Enjoy the ride" onto this, but what I'm going to do is stamp off first, since, like I said, it might take a little help with the re-inking first time around. I'm going to stamp over the basket that I didn't like. That's coming out pretty good. I'm going to see if this stamps well onto the patterned paper here. That's very cute. Okay. It is a very fine font there, and it looks very adorable. Okay, I do have a stamp cleaner behind me from Stampin' Up, but I think since I'm sitting here, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Let me put "Enjoy the Ride" back. Okay, now I'm going to kind of get my markers out and get figured out what colors I want based on the paper, based on this right here. And I'll choose those and let you know what colors I chose. Well, maybe not. I was thinking I was coloring flowers. I forgot I'm coloring in a puppy. So I chose E11, E33, and E35. So I'm going to go ahead and pop those open. I try to open them away from me because sometimes they splurt because they're that juicy. Light, medium, and dark. Now they move my stamp positioner out of the way. Back out a little bit, wrong way, like that. All right. Now I have my, I'm trying to do this without having to fetch all of my supplies that I have packed up to go to Doodlebug, because I want to craft but not make a mess for myself. So I'm going to use, instead of my tiny glue bottles that I have with a fine tip applicator, I'm going to use my big size. And this is my Scotch tacky glue. And I'm at the basket right here on the little, I thought about putting him on the seat, but I decided to put it on the little tray back there. Okay. Now, another thing that I'm thinking about while I've got it, I meant to do this earlier, but I forgot. There's this little flower here that I thought I would like to put onto the wheels. So, let me get that out here. Now is when I need to match my Copic colors with the papers that I have. So I'm going to get a couple of these, but I decided I'm going to hit stamp all the way across and store these with the magazine. That's a cuter flower than I even realized. I like it. Okay, now I'll pick out what colors are going to match the bike. Okay, so what I have R20 and R22, and I have the Y15 and Y17. There we go. I guess my question now is, do I want to pop these flowers out? And I might. So let me put this aside for now, and I want to work on the sentiment that I cut out, and that's this enjoy the ride. I want to make sure that I'm still okay with stamping that on pattern paper. Now, to really make this stand out, I have cut out some black cardstock, and I think I'm going to center it on there. Now I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to center it and leave black spots on both sides. And let me go cut that off. Okay, there's that. So I'm thinking that that will go kind of off center maybe to balance off the little puppy there. Okay, now I want to make, I want to get some paper, and I think I'm going to use this one. This is the one that I was looking at when I was picking out marker colors. This is 5-inch square, so I'm thinking, how much of a border do I want around there? I think I need a little more than 1/4 inch. Let me think. That could be it. 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to add 6/8 of an inch across here, which is the same thing as 3/4. I'm going to add, so if this is 5-inch square, I'm going to add 5 3/4, and that's how it, 5 3/4 inch square. Okay, let's see if I'm right. Yes, that's exactly what I'm wanting. So now I can mount that. I'll show you on this one. I can mount it on another white. I can mount it on a black. I can mount it on a solid blue. I could even mount it on that. Question is, what do I want? Let me look and see what black looks like. If I had black, is it too much? How about the gingham? Oh, I think I like that better. I'm going to do it on the gingham. Okay, so again, I need to add another 3/4 inch. This was, I said, 5 3/4. I need to add another 3/4, making it 6 1/2 inch square. And there we are. Okay, I am not taking my advanced tape glider with me, so when I go to Doodlebug, so I can use that to adhere this. So I have some little foam dots here that I'm going to use to get these little flowers popped up. You could also do this to add dimension to the bicycle. Oh, what I was thinking was about putting eyelets in here, so let me look at that again. But instead, I think I might do brads this time. There we go. Now I want to pop this up. Oh yeah, it adds a little bit extra to it. I like it. Okay, last thing. I think I'm going to put a little row of rickrack right across the bottom, going across all of the layers that I have here. And to help me with that, I'm going to place a ruler here just to help me get a straight line on the glue, or at least somewhat straight. Making sure. If I didn't get enough, at least I can see the pathway now. I can see where I'm supposed to go. Not that I can draw a straight line anymore. Okay, now for the actual card, because this is just a panel basically, or a mat, I can make another matte border sticking out. I can figure out how wide I need that card to be, because this was, it was 6.5. If I add another quarter, it would be 7.25, but probably not going to work because I would need to be able to do a 12-inch piece of paper, and I won't fit 7.25 inch folded in half that way. So I'll get as large as I can. So I'll show you my solution to this. And again, there isn't a cardstock unless you can get the 11 by 17 cardstock that's wide enough to be a mat for that and fold in half. So what I did, I made two pieces. This one is 7.25 by 7.25. That'll be the front. Okay. And then the next piece is going to be the back, but I made it longer. So this is 7.25 by 7.75. I'm going to score it at 7.25. And then I'm going to burnish that. And then I can glue this down onto that flap, and that will make it long enough. Okay. First of all, let's get this onto there. And what I really should have done was to mat that onto the card before putting all this on there. So I think what I'll do is use liquid glue so I don't have to use a tape runner. Okay, now we need to get this mounted on this hinge here. Now, Scotch tacky glue dries pretty quickly. This craft glue dries rapidly, so you don't have as much time to play around and get a good seal there, or get a good position. So I'm off just by a tiny bit. And if you don't like the look of this here, you can always cover it with some washi. And I'm going to try this. I haven't used this yet. It's Scotch Expressions washi tape. It's this kind of a city with a fair here, and it's really cute. But I was thinking of riding the bike through here, and so that's what it's making me think of. There we go. Now I like the whole hinge idea. The only thing that didn't work as well for me was, like I said, because I didn't look straight down on this when I was putting it together. So that's that card, and really cute set. Glad that I was able to play around and do something before going off to Doodlebug. I just think this is adorable, and there are still many other stamps that I have not used that I can. So I will just take these items and put them with the rest of the set. Thank you so much for watching, and for giving me a thumbs up, and for subscribing to my channel.